Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Tales of Two. It's your Thunder, so this might be a quick one. We'll see how this goes. We are doing Poisonous Plants Part 4 because the milkweed right here is gorgeous. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of bees flying around me. They're fine. I'm loving it. So are the bees. We do have Mr. Zach is working on our road over there, trying to get it nice and smooth before camp starts. So we got a lot of noise going on. We'll try and work around it. Okay. Just for reference, our trails are still open. Our wildlife housing area is still open. Our wildlife hospital is still open. Please give us a call if you have an animal. Did we announce our? Oh, we announced our opening, guys. We are opening next week. The Nature Center is opening. Limited opening. Okay, so we're testing the waters. We're gonna, not flood the place with people. But our Nature Center will be opening in stages. So starting next week, yay! Our Nature Center will be open. Hooray! So, anyways, back to Poisonous Plants Part 4. We have the awesome milkweed back here, and I know Miss Cheryl talked a little bit about milkweed before, but she was talking about milkweed as it relates to monarch butterflies, which it is a very, very important plant for monarch butterflies because it's what they raise their babies on. But what you might not know is that milkweed actually is home or a food plant or a nectar plant for over 450 species of insects alone. That's not including other things that might like to hang out on it. Butterflies, like hummingbirds that might like to visit the milkweed and get nectar. Okay? These plants are really, really important. They are native to the eastern United States. They are spread out all over the eastern United States. They are really, really pretty common, especially in like turned over soil. They love lots of sun. You can see that. They like all the sun. Now, the cool thing is that a lot of people don't plant them in their gardens, even though they are really, really important, because they are considered toxic. They do have, I forget the name of the toxin, I'll have to get back to you on that one. It was cardiac something, glycoside, cardiac glyco something like that. I'll have to get back to you on exactly what it is. But it is a toxin, okay? It will cause upset stomach, things like that. One of the other really, really cool things, and kind of a sensitivity thing, the reason it's called milkweed is if you take a leaf off of it, okay, and I'm going to take one that's already done, it actually has this very milky sap coming out of it, and I'm not actually squeezing that, that's just dripping out. That sap has a latex in it. Okay, so if you are allergic to latex in any way, shape, or form, this plant can give you a reaction, which is something that a lot of people don't know. Okay, they know that it's not good to eat, okay, but they don't necessarily know that it might not be a good thing to touch either. Now, I don't have a latex allergy, so I'm okay if I like touch this and play around with this. But if you do have a latex allergy, don't do this. Just let it sit. Okay, let it be a leaf. Okay. Oh, there actually was a bug on the bottom of this. I don't know what that bug is.
Fuzzy little caterpillar guy.
It's a fuzzy little aphid guy.
Can you guys see him? Oop. Oop, where'd he go?
He does not like the sun. He was under the bottom. Now we say 450 different bugs. I do not know them all, guys. There is a lot in nature I do not know. I am so willing to learn more. But that's something I will have to look up. But a lot of the bugs are going to eat the leaves. A lot of the bugs are actually going to drink that sap. A lot of the bugs are going to come to the flowers. These flowers smell absolutely incredible right now, guys. Milkweed smells amazing, and it is attracting all sorts of bumblebees and wasps and honeybees and flies and anything else that needs the nectar. There's all sorts of tiny little sweat bees, mason bees. We talked about those before. There are bugs later that will eat the plant or eat the seeds out of it. There are bugs that will curl up inside the leaves and use those as a home. There's all sorts of bugs. Miss Erin found some aphids over here on another plant. These guys, you can see these tiny little guys. These guys like to suck the sap right out of the plant. Okay, a lot of times they all right, so a lot of these guys never leave the plant that they were born on. So they spend their whole lives drinking the sap out of this. They lay new eggs, and sometimes those babies will go and move to a new plant. Okay, but they might not.
And these guys are on a different set of milkweed. So we have some over here by our pond that grows in the more shady spot. And then I believe this is the swamp milkweed?
No, this is common milkweed.
Yeah.
Asclepias syriaca. I don't remember how to pronounce that last, but the Asclepias part is named after a Greek person in Greek history, Asclepius, who was considered one of the father of medicine. So milkweed used to be used as a medicine for a couple different things. And there's a bunch of different kinds of milkweed too, and they're all really, well, I can't say they're all really good to plant. You have to be aware of what's native to your area. Okay? The best idea is to try and plant native plants because that'll stick around. These guys are really, really good for big open sunny spots. They do grow in sandy soil, obviously. Did we find another cool bug?
Yeah, he's hard to zoom in on the. Oh, there we go.
It's a little spider.
Yeah.
So the little spiders sometimes might be eating the other bugs that live on the plant.
There's an ant on here too.
Oh, there's all sorts of bugs.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many cool things. What else was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say, these guys, sometimes if you plant them, you have to be really, really careful about where you plant them because their roots can go really, really deep. So if you try to get rid of it later, you might have a hard time because you won't be able to get the roots out. Okay, but that means these guys are a hardy plant. They'll stick around for a while. So,
someone asked, how do poisonous plants get their poison if they start as a seed?
So a lot of them produce it. So most plants are going to produce different chemicals in order for things to not eat them. Okay? So these guys probably, the milkweed, they probably want the bugs to come to them, but they might not want the deer to eat them. And if the deer come along and bite a leaf of milkweed, that leaf is going to taste horrible to them. So the deer are not going to eat the milkweed all the way down to the nub like they do a lot of other plants, like they might do with our garden plants, right? So the plants themselves actually produce these chemicals. Tobacco is going to produce nicotine, and nicotine is actually a bug repellent, it's a pest repellent, okay? Same thing with, let's see, what were some of the other ones? There's a bunch of different kinds of plants that make a bunch of different chemicals specifically to keep other animals from eating them, okay? So they just do it on their own, you know, and that's part of what our basis in medicine is too. So we're taking those chemicals and we're using them for different things too. So things like this, these plants that make these chemicals are really, really important for us too.
So same person asked, why do people plant milkweed? And another person commented monarchs. But is there another reason that we might plant milkweed besides monarchs?
I personally would plant milkweed because the flowers are beautiful and they smell amazing. Like, I think they smell really, really good. Butterfly! Not a monarch, but butterfly that came by. For most of us, the thing that we want to plant milkweed for is for monarch. We want to give them something to use, something to eat, something so that they can go on and survive. For the rest of us, for some of us, maybe you just want a really hardy plant that you don't have to worry about. I don't think we've ever watered this plant, ever. They just keep coming back up. It is an annual, it'll keep coming
and
up.
And if you guys look, it runs the whole way down our boardwalk. Some years it's a little fuller than others. There's a good amount this year, but I have seen it have a little bit more in this patch, and there might be still some popping up. But it does come back every single year, even if it's had a disturbance. Like last year, for some reason, our deer decided to eat it, which is not a normal thing, and it still came and popped back up.
It's a very, very hardy plant. I love it. Okay. Do you have other questions?
No, someone just said thanks.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. I'm glad we could help. All right, well, if nobody has any more questions and we can't find any more
I'm
really
gonna
cool
zoom
bugs.
in on some more bees, maybe.
Yeah, we got a couple other really cool bugs here. There's a bunch of little flies. There's a bunch of beetles that like to eat the milkweed too. So it's not just the monarchs that'll eat it.
And other types of butterflies and moths.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a whole series of butterflies called milkweed butterflies. They include monarch, queen butterflies, viceroys. They all use milkweed and they all look very, very similar.
There's a fly on this one. He's a little green guy. Lots and lots of bees on this flower.
That just shows you how much pollen and how much nectar they have. A lot. I wish you guys could come out and smell this. They smell so good. It's very, very sweet. So if you like sweet smells, come and stick your nose in it. Just be careful of the bees. They usually won't sting you if you're just kind of hanging around. I'll tell you that. Now, you might want to check for some eggs. I don't see any now. Might be a little bit early for some. Might be an egg. Not sure. Maybe. But you see how tiny that is? That's about the size of the butterfly eggs. So if that's not one,
The monarch ones are white, but that could be something else.
There's a couple moths that like to eat the milkweed too. But those you'll see, the eggs will be in a cluster. So moths lay their eggs in clusters. Butterflies lay their eggs one at a time.
All right.